Hi guys, welcome back, and today I'm going to be talking to you about my summer TBR. So up until this point I have been doing monthly TBRs, and that has worked out pretty well for me, but I also tend to be a mood reader, and especially in summer I go through moods with reading and I want to read different things, and so I decided since summer can get a little hectic, a little crazy, that I would just do a general summer TBR and talk about some of the books that I just want to read this summer, and then read what I feel like reading over the months of June, July, and August. I am going to be participating in a couple of readathons over the summer, however, so I might make specific TBRs for those. I won't go over which books I'm thinking about for specific TBRs for readathons right now, because those could change because it's not going to be for a little bit yet. I have picked out 18 books to read over the summer, which I'm not sure if I'll get that many read, and I'm not sure if I'm even planning on reading all of these. But I picked more books than I could read so that I'd have a variety to pick from. I also kind of picked an entire series to read as well, which you'll understand in a little bit. So I'm not sure if I necessarily need to finish the series. I just kind of want to work on getting further in the series. And a couple of them are for read-alongs that I've kind of been participating in, but also am a little behind on. And some of them are just kind of books that I felt like I wanted to read this summer. So the first category we're going to start with is contemporary, which I don't read a lot of contemporary, but I am in a contemporary mood right now. So I picked a bunch of fun contemporaries, and I want to maybe try and read them this summer. The first one is The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren. This book just came out, and it's getting rave reviews, and it just sounds hilarious and fantastic and awesome. So this follows a girl, and her twin sister is getting married, and she is the maid of honor. She has to spend a lot of time with the best man, who she cannot stand. She does not like him. She doesn't want to spend time with him, anything like that. But at the wedding reception, everyone gets food poisoning, and her sister's like, you have to go on my honeymoon and pretend to be me, because otherwise all this money and this trip is going to go to waste. So they go to Hawaii together, her and the best man, because they're the only two people who didn't get sick, and it is a hate-to-love romance, and they have to pretend that they're married, and it just sounds like everything that I want to read right now, and I love the cover, and it just looks like so much fun. I have this book on hold at the library, so we'll see when it comes in if I'm in the mood to read it or not, and we'll go from there. Next up we have Josh and Hazel's Guide to Not Dating, also by Christina Lauren. I have heard really good things about this book, both from Murphy Napier and Chris over at Bread and Books. They both really enjoyed this book. This is like a friends to lovers trope, and it just sounds so cute. Hazel is this quirky girl, and Josh is kind of this down-to-earth guy, and I think for some reason they end up setting each other up on terrible dates, and so they'll go on double dates together, and Josh will pick someone from Hazel and Hazel will pick someone for Josh, and they're just awful, and then they end up kind of falling for each other. So I am really excited to read this book, and I don't know, I just want some cheesy romance in my life right now. So we have this one. Next up we have The Unexpected Everything by Morgan Matson. This is a library book, so I apologize because it's probably really shiny. This is about a girl whose dad is a senator, and he kind of has some sort of scandal, and so that kind of causes issues with her life, as well as it's summer and she's working as a dog walker, and there's a boy and a romance, and that's all I know about this book, but it sounds really cute. I know I've listened to reviews for it before and thought that sounded adorable, and it takes place during summertime, and it just seems like a great summer read. I have actually never read any Morgan Matson. I have a Morgan Matson book, and I have 2 from the library currently, so this one is probably the one that I'm most excited about reading, and so yeah, I thought that I would try it this summer. Following on the Morgan Matson train, we have Amy and Rodger's epic Detour. I picked this book because I own this book, and I would actually like to make a dent in my unread shelf project books. So this is about a boy and a girl, and I think her mom moves across the country, and is this the one where she's afraid to drive because her dad died in a car accident, or is that a different book that I've read the synopsis of. Who knows? But they drive cross-country, bringing their car across the country because her mom moved from like California to Connecticut or something like that. And I don't think they really like each other at first, and then they have to go on this road trip together, and road trip books just sound like the perfect summer book. So I decided that I would give Amy and Rodger's Epic Detour a try since it's been on my shelf forever. So the last contemporary that I'm going to talk about that has also been on my shelf for a while is American Panda by Gloria Chow. This follows a Taiwanese American girl as she starts college and kind of just family dynamics and things like this. Not sure that this is so much a like summary read because she's holding a mug of hot chocolate and she has a scarf on the cover. This might take place during winter. But I have just been wanting to read this book for a while. It sounds really cute. It sounds like it's a good, heartwarming family story. And I, like I said, have had it on my shelf, and it's such a pretty book. Like, I just love the colors on this. So I'm in a contemporary mood, so I figured I only have a few contemporary on my shelves. I should actually read them. So the next category is fantasy, because even though I'm in a contemporary mood, I can't stay away from fantasy. So I have the next 2 books in the Mistborn trilogy. We have the Well of Ascension, which is book 2, and the Hero of Ages, which is book 3. This goes with Elliot Brooks's Cosmere read-along that she is doing, which I'm technically like a month behind on currently. So I want to finish up the original Mistborn trilogy this summer so I can move on to the second era Mistborn, which those books are a little bit shorter, so hopefully I can like double up on those in a month, maybe like in August or something, and fly through those. I don't have physical copies of those, however, so I didn't put them on my list. I'm just going to work on focusing on finishing this trilogy because I started it last year and I loved it, so I really need to finish it. So that's my goal, is to finish up Mistborn Era 1. My next goal is another lofty high fantasy goal, and that is to read The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings. So first we'll talk about The Hobbit. I recently rewatched all of the Hobbit movies / watched the last one for the first time, and it has put me in a Tolkien mood, and I was planning on reading these in fall, but I really, really want to read them now. So we have The Hobbit, which follows Bilbo as he goes on his journey with Gandalf and his adventure, and they go to see Smaug the dragon and just everything that happens there. This is a pretty short book. I have tried reading it before. I got maybe like halfway through and then never finished it. So I'm going to try and reread this one this summer and see if I can get back into the world. And then if I am successful with that, I would like to start on the Lord of the Rings trilogy. I never know if I should categorize this as one book, since that's like the edition I have is like the single volume edition, or if I should still count it as 3 books. So I think in my like unread shelf count and on Goodreads, I am planning on counting it as 3 books, but I do have it in this 50th anniversary 1-volume edition, which is like the most satisfying floppy fantasy book, and it's gorgeous, and I'm just really excited to read it, but it is massive because of that reason. I'm excited to get this started. I don't know if I will finish all the Mistborn books and The Hobbit and all of the Lord of the Rings this summer, but I would like to at least start in on this behemoth of a book. Next up, we have the one arc that I have to read this summer, and that is Seeker by Kim Chance. This is the second book in a duology. The first book is Keeper, but I'm going to read Seeker. So this follows Lainey, who is a teenage witch, and she is just finding out about all of her magical powers, and her best friend Maggie, and this boy named Ty that she has met, who is new boy in town. We'll go with that. And so that's kind of what Keeper follows, and Seeker follows just even more, delving into this world. We get to see a lot more magic system, and technically I have read this book already because I beta read it, but I'm really excited to see kind of the little bit more polished and finished version. in the arc, even though it won't be the final polished and finished version, but it comes out in September, and so am looking forward to reading that arc very soon this summer so that I can get my official review up of it. But I would highly recommend checking out Keeper. It is a great, fast-paced YA fantasy that has witchy magic and superb friendships, like superb friendships. Love them. So that will be on top of my list to get to this summer. So next up, we're going to talk about classics, or the one classic I'm planning on reading this summer. I should probably read more than one classic, but the one that is on my list to read this summer is Alice's Adventures in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass, which technically maybe counts as two because it's two books. It's the book and the sequel bound up into one copy, but this just seems like a good, fun summer read because it's pretty whimsical and just, I don't know, it seems like it'd be a fast, easy read. And I've never read Alice in Wonderland. I've seen the movie, and so I just kind of am very interested in to see what the book is like, and I like that it is a bind-up of the two. So last up, we're going to talk about the two series that I want to try and tackle this summer. The first up is the Grishaverse series, which I should have finished by now. Siege and Storm has been on my TBR for months, and it's been slow going, not gonna lie. And it's not because the book is slow. It's literally because I've picked up everything else but this book. So I really, really want to try and make it through Siege and Storm and Rune and Rising this summer so I can complete a series, dang it. So that's my goal for these. It's just finish the series. I kind of started telling you what these books were about, and now I've kind of dwindled into just telling you what they are. So if you want to learn more about them, check out Goodreads or, the synopsis, etc. I'm sorry, this video is a little bit of a mess. So are my reading tastes right now. Finally, if I manage to finish up the Grisha trilogy and have a little bit more time, I also need to finish reading the Lunar Chronicles. I read the first book in this series and then never finished the rest of them. So I have Scarlet, Cress, and Winter, and technically Fairest, and maybe Stars Above if I can get my hands on it. My library probably has a copy. I really loved the first book in this series, and it's another one where I just have literally picked up everything else but these books. I know that everyone else has probably read these books or read them like 5 years ago, but, I'm a little late to this game. Same with the Grishaverse books, so these are on my backlog. There are only like 3 more books to read to finish the series, and then I can check it off my list. So I would like to start diving into these again some more this summer. Those are all the books that I'm hoping to kind of do whatever with this summer. Let me know what you guys are reading this summer down below, and if you guys make like a summer reading list, or if you kind of sticking to monthly TBRs, because I'd love to know. Let me know which books you're most excited for me to read, and I will maybe try and prioritize them if my moods allow. And thanks for watching, happy reading, and I will see you again soon. Goodbye!